Now then, it's afternoon tea week, so with 165 million cups of tea drunk each day in the UK, it's a lot, isn't it? 165 million every day. There's an extra special reason to pop the kettle on, polish off your finest crockery, cut the crusts off your butties and put some cream on your scone. Here to help us navigate this quintessential British tradition is royal butler and etiquette expert Grant Harold. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Sarah.
Oh, Grant, I mean, first I've got to ask you, how did you become a royal butler, and did you ever spill tea on an actual royal?
Thankfully, not as of yet. I haven't spilt tea on anyone, thankfully. And I became a royal butler because I had an ambition when I was a child to one day to either marry into the royal family or look after them. And obviously, I managed to do one.
Have you still got an ambition to do the first?
Possibly not. I think I'm quite happy just serving the table and kind of keeping out the way.
It must be incredibly nerve-wracking when you're there with the royals for the first time. How do you cope with that?
The first time I met the Prince of Wales, I was extremely nervous. And I always say to people, it's probably the most nerve-wracking thing that I've ever had to do. Well, that and dancing with the Queen, because obviously on one occasion I got invited to a ball at Balmoral Castle and I actually got to dance with the Queen and some other members of the royal family, so that was a close second.
Wow, what was it? Was it the locomotion?
No, thankfully not. I think if it was, I might have left the room. No, it was a dash and white sergeant, I think.
Fabulous. I mean, have you got? I know you shouldn't have favourites, but have you got a royal that you've particularly clicked with that's always been very friendly and warm with you?
I liked all of them. I didn't really have a favourite, but I absolutely respected the Queen. She's a wonderful lady, and I feel very lucky to have got to spend time with her and looking after her and getting to know her. You know, you feel very privileged and lucky.
There was a big hoo and indeed a ha when it was discovered that she had sort of Tupperware on her little breakfast trolley that time. And I think people loved her even a little bit more when they realised that there was just all... So it's not all the best china all the time, is it not?
But, you know, being quite sensible. I mean, Tupperware, I use Tupperware. I think it's very sensible when you've got kind of produce in the house and you want to keep it fresh. What better than to keep your cereals and things in Tupperware? I mean, I know so many people that do that and they bring them out. And I don't think it's unusual. I'm sure people think it's different. But
I know, but it's just when it's the Queen, you think everything's just going to be the finest china, so nice. I think we were all like, oh, that's quite cute. We're like that. Now then, let's move on to afternoon tea. It's afternoon tea week. It's been knocking around since the 1840s. What are the absolute essentials if somebody's going to rustle up a scrumptious afternoon tea?
I think the things on afternoon tea, they're just so easy to kind of put together. And I think the essentials are you want to obviously have your correct cutlery, which is just a knife and fork, a starter knife and fork size. You want a nice white tablecloth, some nice white starched napkins, which again you can either fold or just place on the table.
I've got none of that. I've got no tablecloth, I've got no proper napkins, I've got paper ones that have got trolls on or Star Wars, and I've not got any small knives and forks. Can we just muddle it together? Is there a certain charm if you've not got the best china and you've got Star Wars napkins?
Well, yes, paper napkins, yes, lovely. Well, I think the thing is, if you haven't really got the kind of right napkins, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, especially children love afternoon teas, and again, I say to parents, if you're going to do an afternoon tea, and especially if it's for the children, it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you actually have a go at doing it.
Okay. Where do you stand on a bit of salad cream in your egg mayonnaise mix?
Not too sure about that one. It could be a bit messy. I think I'll avoid that. Lovely for the invitation, but maybe not.
Are small cocktail sausages allowed?
Well, not really. It's not something I wouldn't. You know, if it was an evening reception, fine. But for afternoon tea, yes, let's not.
Oh, really? I always pop a little dish of sausages in when we do a tea, you see. So do you need to do things like peel cucumber? Because life's quite short, and peeling a cucumber to me just seems a terrible waste.
It adds to the whole experience. You can't have a cucumber sandwich with the skins. You've got to have it peeled, and obviously the crusts have got to be off, which is very important. And when people say, what do you do with the crust? The chickens love the crust.
Oh, fab. So now I've got to buy some chicken, some napkins. Someone writing down this list, please. People come to you, don't they? But you do courses on how to serve the perfect afternoon tea. What sort of people want to come and learn this?
It's anybody. It's from Mr. Smith at the end of the road to possibly a European aristocrat, somebody that's come into the UK, they want to know the correct way to do things, and my courses, I just run through very basic, how to be the perfect host, how to be the perfect guest, tips for the conversation, table settings, history of tea, and what to serve.
Oh, fantastic. And what, for you, I mean, is the absolute... If you only have one cake at an afternoon tea this week to celebrate afternoon tea week, what should that cake be, Grant?
I think it's got to be a lemon drizzle cake.
Ooh.
I love a lemon drizzle cake.
Oh, I'm not mad on a lemon drizzle, but I could be persuaded, I guess. So you've got to have a bit of lemon drizzle. You've got to have egg sandwiches in there, do you think?
Absolutely. And please remember, when you're actually having the afternoon tea, the other thing we've got to remember is that when you're pouring the tea, it's always the milk after, never before.
Oh, yes, of course. Do you have to have teapots? You can't be using the kettle?
No, we've got to. It's teapots. Yes, let's keep the kettle in the kitchen. It's got to be the teapot. And people say, has it got to be silver? Silver plate would be absolutely fine. Again, people say that's far too expensive. I got a silver tea service recently for £5.
Oh, yes, you have a look around a car boot.
Find them, exactly. Car boots is where you get your Irish linen, you get your teapots and your china.
Oh, beautiful. And dodgy leather jackets and scratch singles.
Yes,
and final question, please can I come round to your house soon, Grant, for an afternoon tea?
Of course you can. I'd love you to come around for an afternoon tea. I think you would enjoy it, and I could teach you exactly how to do it correctly.
Fabulous. I have to bring my own sausages, it seems. Or listen, Grant, you've been awesome. I could have chatted to you all morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on, Sarah.
Royal Butler etiquette expert Grant Harold. Isn't he great? I love him.
Granny's always raving and ranting, and she's always puffing and panting, and she's always screaming and shouting, and she's always brewing up tea. Grandpappy's never late for his dinner, 'cause he loves his leg of beef, and he washes it down with a brandy and a fresh made pot of tea. Have a cup of tea